Hello friends, Porter Thorndike here with the demonstration of the new interactions capability in the WebFOCUS Designer in release 9.1. Interactions are actions that can be driven off of click events. That could be on buttons, form controls, panels, really anything, and I want to take you through some of the most common examples. So one common customer request that you might have is you want to be able to schedule content. So if we take a look at the controls area and we add a button to the canvas, you'll notice we can right click and a new option is interaction. We're going to add the interaction. Okay, now for a button, the only event is a click. And so these are going to, be different depending upon the type of, control that you have. So I'm going to say, okay, once we have the interaction added, and multiple interactions could be added per button if necessary, it's a click event and we select a task. The tasks are run, content, show object, hide object, run deferred, or schedule content. In this case, we want to schedule content. I'm going to say okay. I might actually also give this a friendlier name so I know what I'm doing. Then I select the content. In this case, we're just going to keep it simple. I'm going to run some of the content that's on my page, the category sales widget. So I'm going to select it. Then we select a mode, and that is with Reportcaster. You can schedule it to a variety of different methods. I'm going to pick email. And then we select a target. You want that to be a new window, same window. I'm going to go with page overlay. And the other thing that you could do is you could give this a friendly name so you know what it is. The next thing that I want to do, I want to show you how we can hide or show content. That could be panels, that could be parameters. And to do this, I'm going to add a drop-down menu. Now in this drop-down, I just really quickly added 3 static values, category, average, and discount. I'm just doing that to show how a selection in a drop-down could hide content, which is what we're going to do. This is more commonly used with a selection in a drop-down showing or hiding additional parameter controls, as you might imagine. In this case, I'm going to select the drop-down, add an interaction. The event is a selection change. I'm going to select an action, and I want that to hide an object. You notice it's all the same selections and options that I had before. I say, okay, I need to select the object that I want to hide. If category is selected, let's hide category, would be an example. So I'm going to say apply it to that object, and then you can actually add a condition to it. So if the value of that dropdown is category, it's going to hide it. So you'll notice in the background, I very quickly added those additional tasks where if the value is average or discount, it's going to hide that applicable piece of content. I can give this a nice friendly name. And let's say, call this hide panels. The last thing that I want to show you is how you can drive a click event to do something like launch a new window or populate a new tab. So to do this, I'm going to actually use the panel itself. So you can apply this to any button, any control, or any panel. I'm going to right click and add a new interaction. That's going to be a click event. I'm going to select the action is to run content. And the run content that I'm going to run, let's just pick the category sales widget again. Now what I can do is select a target, and that could be a run it to a new container, a window, same window, or I like the page overlay option for this one. And we're now ready to take a look at what these look like in runtime. So I'm going to run this page in full screen. Let's first take a look at the scheduling option. I'm going to click the schedule button. What this is going to do is it's going to open up the Reportcaster scheduling dialog, but it's got all that preset information knowing what needs to be scheduled in what form you want to use, like email. The next thing we're going to take a look at is hiding of panels based on selections within the dropdown. Remember, I had a condition where if I select category, it applies a hide option to the category panel. And you'll notice we have that for the other panels as well. And I do see this being used more for parameters as well. There's also interactions you can add to reshow the panels as well. And the last thing I'm going to show you is how the click event can do something like populate a new window. So remember we added the click event to category sales to populate that same chart in a page overlay. So interactions, super flexible capability for developers of reporting and dashboarding applications where you need fine-grained precision control over the behavior of things like drop-down list boxes, controls, buttons, and panels, where you need the flexibility to show and hide and populate content in different areas, or do things like run content in new windows. All of this in release 9.1.